up, guys? So what we got here is just a package in, came in from Amazon. Just a new shift boot for the car. So thought I'd make a tutorial video and just show you guys how to do a little install. So when you're putting in your shift boot, you can go really two ways about it. You can just take off your shift knob, take off your shift boot, and slap the new one on top of it and call it that. Or you can pull your center console apart, pull all this crap out, shift knob, shift boot, mount this underneath or on top, whatever you want to do, and then put everything back together. I think if you pull everything apart and mount the new boot from underneath before you put it all back together, I think it looks a lot better. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do today. Also, I got to pull everything apart because I'm taking off this carbon vinyl wrap. Too rice for me. So yeah, show you guys how to do that as well. So first step, what we're going to do, just unthread your shift knob. And yes, before any butt hurts that are watching this start commenting, I drive an automatic. No, I do not put in a shift boot because I think I look cool, or because I think I drive standard, or I want to make people think I drive standard. I put in a shift boot because when I was doing this to make my car look ricey and obviously add a whole shit ton of horsepower with this really expensive ass carbon wrap, I snapped the piece that's in here, the actual block that's got the PRND on it. So I just picked up a shift boot and yeah, put it together now. So switching it just because this one's all ratty now. I got zip ties holding it together because race car button broke on it. So yeah, so what you're gonna do now after you got your shift knob off, just gonna pull the old boot off, bam, just like that. That's out of the way, and now we're gonna worry about getting this whole center console piece out. So with my car, sorry for that blurriness, it's using my phone. What we gotta do first to give us some more room, we're gonna pull the e-brake so we get the clearance here we need. Now we're gonna pop this piece off, just like that, and that can just stay there for now. There's a release tab on it right there. Not sure if you guys can see that or not. Yeah, but there's a release tab there, and this piece will just drop right off if you need it to. But we should get the clearance out. We don't really have to do it. So yeah. So I did end up just pulling this off. Like I said, just a clip in the back there. That's got one of these here, and that tab right there is just the release tab. Just pressure, just push it in, it should all pop out. This piece here is pretty easy, no screws, no bolts, nothing, just pressure fitted. There's clips that hold it in, so just start pulling it right there. You go. Can't get too much easier than that, because now that's completely loose. Next step is disconnecting your hazard lights and your 12 volt there. This here is just plastic. You can pull it up. You can pull this up over your shift stick so you can get in there a little better. There's the one of them that you need to get at, and there's the other. That's your 12 volt hazards. Same idea. It's just going to be a quick little push pin to disconnect them, and then everything's free. So we're just going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so now we got hazards unplugged, 12 volt, and bang, center console pieces out. So now it's time to take all of this wrap off of it. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and pull this. So now basically what you're left with this here piece you can put stuff in, oil storage, and you're left with this. Alright, So this can come apart further. Next what we're going to do is we're going to take this plate here off. And should just pop out now since there's nothing holding it. There you go. That's out. So now just gonna start peeling all that off. If you're gonna go with this stuff and put it on, I'd recommend to go with the better stuff. Actually go out and buy the 3M stuff, because I didn't, and as you can see, it's just really shitty. That there's my bad. That's not the stuff itself, but I'd recommend to go with the better stuff. It'll last longer, it's nicer, it looks better. And when you're putting it on, just a tip, heat it all up with a heat gun or a hair dryer before you do it, so it's nice and warm. It'll mold to the corners a lot nicer, and you can work with it a lot nicer, and it just turns out a lot better. Alright guys, so here you go. Basically I just peeled all of the carbon vinyl wrap off here. I decided I was going to leave it on there because honestly I don't think that looks too bad. Pretty rice. But yeah, if you did pull your center console apart and you didn't have to pull off your horsepower carbon vinyl wrap, what you're going to want to do is basically just figure out how you want your shift boot to sit on there, and how you're going to get it to stay on. What I'm probably going to end up doing is, like, because there's a plastic outline all along here, and obviously that isn't the same shape as that, so you kind of have to come up with it, how you're going to get it in there by yourself. Alright guys, so I've decided I'm going to sit mine like this. I'm going to keep it underneath. So I'm going to figure out a way to attach it from the bottom. Like I said, probably just going to end up gluing it. So what I've ended up doing is literally just grabbing a hot glue gun. Gonna put some glue around the edge of this and just basically slap the boot on there. Obviously it's not the proper way of doing this, but you know, fuck it. It's rice. Alright guys, so now that's all glued into place. Doesn't move anywhere. Just basically glued around the edges, put another little layer down just to hold it a little better. But yeah, there you go. That's personally, after a little while, it sits in there nicely. I think that looks a little better than just slapping it on top. And there you go. Now it's time to put it back into the car and connect everything. Alright guys, so this is what we're sitting with now. Center console torn out. Once again, hazards, 12 volt. This is for the AC. That's just everything we got to put back in. There's our center console there sitting on the ground. Alright guys, so here we are. Everything's in. Now, like I said, it's all pressure fitted, so basically just have to go around and pop everything in. Make sure everything sits in nicely. Again, like I showed you, there's one here, corners, halfway points, and at the top. So just make sure you give everything a nice little push, because we don't want nothing loose or nothing coming loose in there. And then basically from here, plug in the AC cover, push it back on. Basically what that plugs into is this airbag passenger light, so that's going to light up here and tell you when the airbag sensor is on or not. You can leave that unplugged if you want. The only thing is that if you leave it unplugged, the car is going to think that there's a problem with the airbag, and you get a high pitch noise, which is super annoying. So I'd recommend to plug it in. And really, only thing is that little light there. If that bugs you so much, then pull that screw there, pop everything out, take the bulb out and spray paint the bulb. Don't pull the bulb out itself though, because you'll get the same thing. It'll think the bulb's burnt out. Just put electrical tape over the bulb or spray paint it and you'll be fine. Alright guys, everything's done now, so everything's put back together. If this video helped you out, leave it down in the comments, subscribe and like. If you have any questions about it or anything you want me to clarify for you, just throw it in the comments. And if you have any ideas for other videos, let me know.